All right, well, now we're going to look a little bit at the Connect and how to get to Connect, and I'll talk a little bit more about how I'm going to use Connect. So right now, I'm just going ahead and starting on our D2L page. I'm sure most everybody knows how to get there. So when we go to our course, and again, I'm just picking on SO1. It's honestly, it's the only one I really have set up right now. I'm going to be getting SO2 fixed, but you'll see the welcome part here. I'm probably going to add another section. I want to have some videos here like this one on this, the news items. So this will have contact information. Really probably not needed as much right now. Contact information is really email since we're not on campus, but this is the Connect information. Now just to let you know, there's nothing you need to buy. Connect it's going to roll over from last semester, or even if you took this in the fall and took 110 in the fall, the Connect code is good for, I think, a little over a year. So it's still something that you can use now, and you don't have to buy anything. The good thing, there's a sting when you had to buy everything for 210. There's nothing you have to buy for 211 unless you didn't buy it for 210. All you have to do, obviously, I'm going to assume, I know everybody that was in my 210 class used Connect, and I'm going to assume that most of you had to use Connect as well. So what's going to happen is, under this information, there's a little part here. If you open it, it's going to download, give you a chance to download a PDF file that is this. All right. So if you look here, it gives you the information, and there's a link here. Now, what you want to do is, when you click on this link, it's going to open up Connect, and this automatically brings you to this this course, the 210 course. Ooh, that was weird. I was just trying to move that. So what you would do is put the same email address, whatever email address you used last semester or whenever you took it before, that's what you put in. And as soon as you do that and begin, it will populate you into this class. Now, again, if you don't have Connect, you're going to need it for this semester. You can actually buy it through here. You can go through and find where you can buy it as you go through, but this is how you do it. Now, I know there's ways that you can go to Connect and search for the class and try to join. Be very leery of that. It's going to cause more confusion. This is a pretty easy way. You click the link, you put your email in, it might ask you a question or two, but it'll take you to Connect. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I will log on to Connect, and I'll show you. It's funny. If anybody here is looking at that old password, I set this up like 10 years ago. I don't even remember the password for that old email address. I have a feeling I've had some students that saw it and tried to send me things, and they're like, "You never responded." So my Hotmail account, I don't even know what it is. I probably should change that. But anyway, that's another story we'll talk about at that time. Now, I'm going to just move. This is from the professor side, so you can see all the stuff, all the crazy stuff we've got. I'm going to go again to SO1. And what I'm going to do is I'll switch it to the student view. Now, honestly, I don't know if this is what you see at all or not. I don't know how it all works, but this is the assignments. Now, generally, you're going to have a little menu here. What will happen is a lot of times people won't see this, and they'll have in the classes, you will have like the 210 still. And so when you sign on, it'll still have 210. If you're not seeing 211, you either didn't register the right way, or you need to go to this classes and make sure that it is Bio 211 that pops up. Now, there'll be assignments that are here. A lot of times they're on the bottom. Sometimes they'll have to do. I don't know that there's anything there. This shows you when it is. I've got a lab, week 1 lab attendance assignment, and I'm just going to bring this up. This is an attempt. This is what's called Learnsmart. It's a little, it's not really a quiz. It is a procedure showing how to do blood typing. I'm going to use this right now to see how it works. If it doesn't, if people have problems with it, or, I know that there's all kinds of different computer issues, if you don't have JavaScript, whatever the issue is, this is what I want to make sure that everybody understands. Do not stress out now. If you are trying, we will make it work. Now, what I don't want to happen is come, after Saturday noon when this is due, if I have someone that goes, oh, it didn't work for me, and I go on there, because I can see when you logged on, I can see what you've done on Connect. I can see what questions you answered, what you answered, how much time you spent on it. I can see everything you do. And so I'm a big believer in effort. Oh, effort fixes most problems. A work ethic fixes most problems. If you're trying to do this and it doesn't work out, you're having issues or your computer messes up, we will make it work. All right. But so don't stress. But if you're blowing it off and thinking, and then, Saturday at 11, you try it and it doesn't work and it's due Saturday noon, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. I'll try to do my best, but we'll see what happens. But again, I'm not trying to be mean or callous or whatever, but I don't, I'm not going to, online's going to be stressful enough. I can't end up having a whole bunch of students that don't do the work and then try to get special treatment or whatever. Do what you can. Try your best. It'll work out. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. So again, I'm trying this. As I said on one of the previous videos, or maybe all of them, I'm new to teaching online. So I guarantee you there's going to be things that I'm going to do wrong and I'm going to have to learn just like everybody else. So I'm going to try my best to make sure I make it as easy, straightforward, not easy, as possible, because you've got to know this material. I take this very seriously. This especially 210, 211. This is foundational material on how the body works, and especially if you're going into nursing, you've got to get these. So I want you to know it more than just pass it. And I hope, obviously I hope everybody gets A's, but I want you to know it. Because you have to know it, because it comes back to you. So, so that is Connect. The way I said I would use it, again, this one here, this attendance quiz is for attendance. This one, the blood, this is for chapter 14. I am going to have, and I'll go back to the student view. I don't know if it was on there, because it probably isn't open yet. I think I have it set to open tonight. Or maybe it is. There it is. So what I want is, with this, there's going to be a couple things on Connect. One is going to be definitely lab attendance assignments. We're going to look around. It might be where I move them to the assignments on D2L, but it will not be without you knowing it. But I will have what are called just chapter assignments, these things here, like this one here. It is simply going to be a timed homework basic assignment that's for whatever test that's coming up. Our first test is on 2 chapters, chapter 14 and 15. So I will also have chapter 15 up. They are timed assignments that I don't set the number of questions. The actual McGraw-Hill does all the questions. I have nothing to do with it except setting up the time. I put them for either an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, and that is for an average person. If you keep getting things wrong, it'll be longer. If you're answering everything correct, it'll be shorter. They ask questions tailored to the things that you missed to try and help you learn. And so, for instance, this first test, which will be, I believe it's the 3rd week, it might be the 2nd week, the end of the 2nd week. Yes, the end of the 2nd week. So the first test, when we have that test, these will be due. You can't do them afterwards. And so they're for the test. And so if you do both of them, and again, it's simply a completed or not completed. If you do both of them, if you complete both of them, you'll get 5 points added to your test grade. If you don't, like let's say you just did blood and you didn't do the heart, didn't do the heart and vessels, which is the chapter 15, you'll get 3 points. If you don't do any of them, you get 0. And again, I can see where you work on it. Like if you work for 4 hours and something happened and it didn't give you credit for it, I will, and that wasn't a pick nose, that was something that was right there just to let you know. But anyway, I will make sure that I treat you fairly. But I see, you know, I can see all of the things you do on Connect. So when I've got students that'll be like, oh, you know, I worked on it for 2 hours and nothing happened. And I look and I can clearly see they logged on and walked away. Logged on, walked away, and thought, oh, you know, I've shows that I've been on for 2 hours. I mean, and that's just, it's crazy to me. I mean, just go ahead and do it. You're already, you know, but anyway, that's another story altogether. So if there's a chapter, I think on the lymphatic system, it's just one chapter. So if it's one chapter, that chapter is worth 5 points. If there's 3 chapters, then it's roughly about 1.5 points for each one. So basically, if you do 2 of the 3, I give you like 4 points. You know, so that's the way it's going to work. And that's going to be added to your test grade. So that's the way that those work. This is where your lecture tests will be. This is where I'm going to put them up. By the way, the lecture test will be timed. I said this in the course instructor information package, or whatever it's called, that the school is coming down pretty hard with the fact that all the grades across the board were elevated. And so I've got a pretty strict limit. I am told that it's 40 seconds per question. And so it's the way it is. I hate it, but that's part of having it online, that there are certain guidelines that have to be, you know, restrictions that have to be done for it to be online. Again, the way this semester goes, I'm not sure. There's a lot of different, you know, discussions about how to have this. I'm hoping that as the school, since we start opening up, even if we can't have official classes, that we hopefully will be able to meet where we can have the tests in person, where we can have the tests given as a paper test, or even if it's in the testing center or something like that. So anyway, this is Connect. I just wanted to give you an overview of it. If something happens and you're having problems getting into Connect or getting it to work, do not stress out. We'll get it figured out. It'll all be fine. So on that point, I hope everybody has a great day. I look forward to getting the semester started, and we will go from there. Take care, everyone.